Hello, my name is James Thorpe. I'm the editor of International Security Journal. Delighted to be here today on the AMAG Technology stand here at Intersec Expo 2025 in Dubai, speaking to James Clark, Director of Sales for the EMEA and APAC region. James, so can you start by just telling us how you go about tailoring identity management solutions for specific security needs whilst maintaining operational efficiency as well?
So AMAG Technology as an organisation are trying to change the way we look at our approach to the market.
Yeah.
Historically, manufacturers tend to, in my opinion, somehow push product out into the market. What we're really trying to do is go the other side of the table. So ultimately come and sit alongside end users and think about their specific needs, the problems we're trying to solve, and then work with integrators in order to align that to the products and services we provide. So ultimately every client has somehow slightly unique challenges and slightly unique opportunities for them to help, for them and therefore how we help them solve problems. And so what we do is really go and sit that side of the table, develop workflows, develop an understanding of their business before we even think about product.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, obviously you touched on the idea of collaboration there. Yeah. And obviously communication as well. So when we look about smooth collaboration in the PIAM implementation process, that must be a really critical factor, particularly in heavily regulated industries.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like understanding the uniqueness of their organization. Yeah. So when we think about a value proposition for our end users, we're thinking about how do we help them from a compliance point of view. And compliance ultimately comes down to vertical specific requirements and vertical specific needs. We think about how they then in the future kind of audit against those compliant requirements. Risk plays a huge factor. What's the risk factors that exist within an organization? Effectively how we manage that. Ultimately cost plays a part as well. But that collaborative concept of really thinking about the specific requirements in a particular geography or a particular vertical and how we support it really takes some doing, and actually really forces you to think away from the products and solutions you have and actually really come that side of the table for the clients. Fantastic.
So at a practical level, how do you ensure you're consistently complying with regulation, particularly things like the NIS2 directive?
Yeah, so often as a manufacturer, we comply with a number of things like ISO 27001, SOC 2, we have a number of accreditations that we have. The levels of hierarchy between us and the end users dictate that we as a manufacturer have to ensure that we are broadly in line with things like NIS2. But what we also have to recognize is there's a role for those integrators as well in order to facilitate those and to deliver them. Again, that takes really strong partnerships. I think we as a manufacturer think about really focusing on the right resellers. So we historically, instead of working with 20 resellers or integrators within a particular market, we focus on 3 or 4. And they're the ones who ultimately have that kind of relationship and understand what it takes to take products and services with the right accreditations and the right format, but actually deliver it for end users in the field. So that's how we would manage that.
Fantastic. And as a provider, finally, how do you go about communicating ROI and long-term value to prospective clients?
Yeah, so the concept of a value proposition, I'm a sales guy, right? So ultimately we live in this world of demonstrating quantifiable value for our customers. It's all too easy as a sales guy to simply go, okay, here's the product, it delivers you this benefit. Yeah. But every client's different, right? So ultimately, when we think about the concept of return on investment and value propositions, we think about the client, we think about the vertical, we think about the quantified benefit it delivers, and the quantified benefit is in terms of risk. So how do we reduce risk, right? Risk is about repeatable protection for an organization. How do we protect them from an insurance exposure point of view? Yeah. We think about compliance in terms of the ability to make sure they're able to operate in a consistent manner. You have to put it in quantifiable terms. We also talk about operational efficiency. A lot of what we do at AMAG Technology is about automating processes and improving operational efficiency. By doing that, we save organizations 50 hours, 100 hours. You turn that into dollar notes or dirhams or whatever it might be, and that's how we demonstrate it. But it's ultimately driven by what the end user needs and the problem you're trying to solve, and then you quantify it on that basis. So that's what we do as an organization.
Fantastic. And finally, as a bit of a curveball, I was just going to say, we're obviously here at Intersec Expo in Dubai. how important is this event for you guys as a launch pad for this year as we look ahead?
Huge. I mean, I think it's fair to say that the Intersec Dubai is, in my opinion, the biggest show in the world. I think the footfall this week is probably going to demonstrate that. We as an international business effectively see this as the start of the year. We brought our entire sales organisation here today, and it really kind of is the launch pad for us for 2025. So yeah, very exciting to be here.
Brilliant, James. Absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Pleasure to meet you, James. Thank you.